Welcome to Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest and most significant economic stories. From stock markets to currency news, Business Review covers the most up-to-date developments in the global financial world.
The M2, a broad measure of money supply that covers cash in circulation and all deposits, rose 10.1% year-on-year to around $29.60 trillion in China at the end of March. According to a financial statistics report released by the People's Bank of China, the M2 growth was 1.3 percentage points higher than that at the end of February and 1.5 percentage points higher than a year ago. The narrow measure of the money supply, which covers cash in circulation plus demand deposits, stood at around $8.18 trillion by the end of March, 5% higher from a year ago. The central bank injected around $82.97 billion of net cash into the market in the first quarter of the year. At the end of March, the balance of local and foreign currency loans stood at around $23.61 trillion, a year-on-year increase of 12.3%. Meanwhile, China's new yuan loans increased by around $1.01 trillion in the first quarter, an increase of around $180 billion year-on-year. Newly added social financing, a measurement of funds that individuals and non-financial firms receive from the financial system, came in at around $1.58 trillion in the first 3 months, up around $350 billion from a year ago. The yuan loans supporting real economic activities increased around $1.03 trillion in the period, up around $136.67 billion from the increase during the same period of 2019. Starting December 2019, Treasury bonds and local government general bonds were included in total social financing statistics, according to the PBOC.
The Russian President Vladimir Putin said that cooperation between Russia and the United States is developing. Talking to the International Space Station crew via video link, the Russian leader said that their work in space demonstrates how well the two countries can collaborate for the good of the whole mankind. Putin also said this is the level of cooperation two countries are trying to attain while solving current global issues, including the fight against the coronavirus pandemic and the economic situation.
China's foreign ministry said that Beijing is opposed to any action by the United States to revoke China Telecom Corp's authorization to provide international telecommunications to and from the United States. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian told reporters during a daily briefing that the United States must stop politicizing commercial matters. The U.S. Justice Department and other federal agencies called on the Federal Communications Commission to revoke the authorization for China Telecom due to what they called substantial and unacceptable national security and law enforcement risks associated with China Telecom's operations. China Telecom has rejected the allegations.
Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos toured a fulfillment center and a Whole Food Market store. Video posted to social media shows Bezos wearing a mask and speaking with employees and shoppers. Amazon's supply chain system has grappled with a surge in demand amid the COVID-19 crisis. The e-commerce firm is considered an essential service, allowing it to stay open in an economic shutdown. The spike in business has pressured employees. Amazon said last month it would hire an additional 100,000 people, raise wages for hourly workers by $2 an hour, and double overtime compensation. But the company failed to quickly answer calls for protective gear. Amazon and its Whole Foods Market faced employee protests as a result. Amazon started getting masks to its employees and implemented temperature checks when the number of coronavirus cases hit hit 1 million globally.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said the US economy could be headed fairly quickly toward recovery if people stay at home. Government gets aid to businesses and households, and public health officials create a national plan to restart the economy. Powell said the US Central Bank is prepared to adjust or add to its broad emergency lending programs as needed and to keep them going until it is confident the recovery is on track. President Donald Trump said the coronavirus outbreak had reached its peak and that the US economy was going to do very well. Trump's briefing came as the US administration's top economic officials said they believed the US economy could start to reopen for normal businesses in May, despite health experts' emphasis on prolonged social distancing measures to defeat the coronavirus. Trump administration officials have signaled a renewed push for a quicker resumption of economic activity, even as US death rates from the virus continue to climb.
Construction workers went back to work as Spain started to ease tough lockdown restrictions that have kept people confined to their homes for more than a month and put a brake on economic activity. In a sign the situation was taking a turn for the better, some businesses, including construction and manufacturing, were allowed to reopen, but most of the population are still confined to their homes, and shops, bars and public spaces will remain closed until at least April the 26th.
Sandra Sierra is praying for someone to bring her and her family food amid Colombia's coronavirus quarantine. Her teenage son Kevin is at higher risk of serious illness if infected with COVID-19, the respiratory ailment caused by the virus, which has killed at least 90,000 worldwide. 16 years old Kevin has obliterative bronchiolitis, which causes airway inflammation and means he is connected permanently to an oxygen tank. The family is among many low-income Colombians who have yet to receive help from the government. Despite promises, no one would go hungry during the more than month-long lockdown and additional payments to those on welfare programs. The quarantine, which restricts most people to outings for food, shopping and financial transactions, is set to run until April 27th. Some people in the working-class satellite city of Soca, on the outskirts of Bogota, have taken to hanging red cloth in their windows as a signal they need food and other necessities. Mario Palacios, a community representative for La Maria neighborhood, said, "The hope is that neighbors who still have food will see it and share with those who don't." Palacios added, though the local government has distributed some groceries, it is not enough. The area is home to informal construction workers, people who sell food and candy on the street, those who clean windshields at stoplights in exchange for coins, and people who collect recycling. Some 27% of people in Latin America's fourth largest economy were living in poverty in 2018, while another 7.2% were indigent, according to the government statistics agency DANE. National unemployment figures of more than 12% could worsen significantly because of the lockdown.
This has been Business Review, your daily source for the most critical financial stories. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.